auto feed takes care of it. But
if you manage to play Zarya Watchful in Gibraltar, you're able to play it on any map.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So send me, like you said, you wanted to send me a specific code. We can go into it.
I was gonna say, I think I sent it to you, but I can pull it up if you need me to as well. Over to, if I can remember how to do this, good lord.
Yeah, it's the replays.
Yep, and there it is. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah. Do you want me to just screen share, or do you want me to just let you pull up the code and I can pull up your?
I'll just type it out. You can just show me this one, RP1.
Yeah, RP1XKA.
Why did you choose that code specifically, out of curiosity?
It was a close game, and I feel like it was close.
Why does Turkish, at least for me, sound like Norwegian? This is what I've heard people say as well. Very interesting. Holy, I didn't believe you, but I pulled up comment and though I said neither, I can tell it actually kind of does. So, I'm not that crazy after all then? If you clicked on this video, you're probably thinking one of two things. Polyglot Mouse, what kind of wild claim is this? Norwegian and Turkish sound nothing alike. Or, wait, someone else hears it too? They really do sound kind of similar. Whichever side you're on, welcome. On this channel, I love diving into the similarities and differences between languages, whether they're widely spoken or totally under the radar. Today, I'm making a bold claim. I believe Norwegian and Turkish sound surprisingly alike. As someone who's actively learning both, I think I can make a solid case. And that's exactly what I'm going to do by comparing their phonology. Hopefully, I'll convince at least a few of you, or at the very least, keep you entertained. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, I think it's only fair to let your ears decide.
Ve belki de en stratejik saldırılarından birine şahit olduk. Ukrayna, web adını verdiği ve sadece 150 drone'la gerçekleştirdiği özel operasyonla
For et par uker siden så la Kari Jakkesson ut en video hvor hun luftet frustrasjonen sin over de tiltakene og de restriksjonene vi har i møte med koronapandemien. Det greit nok det, men hun kom med noen påstander som vi må se litt nærmere på.
Hopefully you're able to hear some similarities, but if not, that's totally fine. I'll walk you through them right now. Now, many of you probably already know that Norwegian and Turkish aren't related at all. They come from completely different language families. So comparing their grammar doesn't really make sense since they differ in almost every way. But what does make sense is comparing how they sound. In other words, looking at their phonology. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. And where better to start than with the foundation of any language's sound system, the vowels. Ignoring the distinction between front and back vowels for a moment, Norwegian has at least 9 distinct vowel sounds, depending on the dialect. Turkish has 8, and the two languages actually share most of them. Both have front and back vowels, though they treat them differently. Norwegian distinguishes between short and long vowels, while Turkish distinguishes between roundedness and backness, which leads to vowel harmony, something Norwegian doesn't have. To quickly explain for those of you who aren't aware, vowel harmony is definitely a complex subject to understand, especially if your language doesn't feature it, like English. It's actually quite widespread, appearing in a lot of agglutinative languages. So in short, vowel harmony is making sure that all of the vowels in a word match. This can be based on many features, but in Turkish it's based on whether they're pronounced in the back or the front of the mouth and if they are rounded. So if a word starts with a front vowel, then the rest of the vowels must be front ones as well. Another key similarity is that both languages tend to pronounce their vowels clearly, without reducing them. In contrast, English often turns unstressed vowels into a schwa sound, an On top of that, both Norwegian and Turkish have very few diphthongs and no nasalized vowels. As you can tell, vowels are a major reason why these two unrelated languages can sound surprisingly alike. Norwegian is a stress time language, meaning certain syllables are stressed and pronounced a bit longer, while the unstressed ones are usually shortened or even reduced. On the other hand, Turkish is syllable timed. That means each syllable is pronounced with roughly the same length and emphasis, so rhythmically, These two languages are quite different. Here's an example in Norwegian where the stress usually falls on the first syllable of a word. Jeg skal gå på skolen i morgen, which means I will go to school tomorrow. You'll notice that the stress syllables are drawn out, while the other ones are more compressed. Now in Turkish, the stress usually lands on the final syllable of each word, unless there's an exception. Plus, every syllable is clearly and evenly enunciated. Yarın okula gideceğim